Jeffers and Peter Clemente here on 93.1 CFIS FM. Here are your hosts, Kathy and Peter.
So, here we are.
Here we are. Oh,
I just had coffee
Lovely.
with Rosie at
oh, did you?
Starbucks.
How's she doing?
She just got back from Calgary. She visited her niece, and Brian was there, and Rosie's brother, and her sister-in-law Kathy, and it was nice.
Okay.
And
Who's Brian?
Brian is Rosie's husband. Rosie has a husband and two beautiful children.
Okay, yeah, I know she had a husband, but I didn't know he was called Brian.
Brian Nichaporik.
There you go.
Nice man. And
you
so
go.
we had a nice little visit at Starbucks and saw your daughter, who just got back from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
She went to a lovely wedding there. Did
Yeah.
you know you had some American people in your family?
Well, actually, they have become Americans in the past little while. See, because Dave, the father, we used to live near him in Coquitlam, and that's how we got to meet them.
Okay.
And then he went away to become a library technician, and the first job that he got was in Princeton.
Oh, yes.
So they went and lived in Princeton for a few years, and then they grew up and went away to college, and the oldest daughter went away to Africa to do some social kind of stuff, and she met this young chap who is a lawyer and who also has a degree in theology from one of the Oxford colleges.
Yeah.
And he teaches theology and comparative religion, that kind of stuff, at some toffee-nosed boys' school in England.
Good.
So
that was, anyway, your daughter said she had a great time.
Oh yeah, great time.
Minneapolis is a neat city, though.
She didn't bring me back a very nice present.
What did she bring you back?
I don't know, can't remember.
That's not nice. Your daughter could be listening.
Yeah, Minneapolis is. I kind of like Minneapolis.
Well,
yeah, I
do
drove
too.
right through the main. Right through the main drag, and
they have a nice zoo there.
Yeah, it's quite
Very
different
nice.
than here. Most of the buildings are made of brick instead of wood, and
They have that mall the
Mall of America.
and that is what Edmonton modeled after that.
Yeah.
Because that was the first one. And then yesterday at Starbucks, my baby came to see me there. Little Madison, Angela's baby. And just the most beautiful baby. I mean, she was born. No pointed head or anything, just beautiful.
Excellent.
So I got lots of baby kisses yesterday. So I love Starbucks. Anyway, let's move right along.
Okay.
Now, on last week's show, we started talking to Lila, our wonderful producer here, about a new project that she's taken on, along with her partner in crime, Jessica Bagnell, and they're starting something called the Concept Party. So we really didn't have much time to talk about it last week. So I said, come on back, gals, and let's tell the public. So welcome to Let's Talk. And Lila, you have to talk.
Hi.
Hi.
I have to talk now.
You have to talk.
Okay, we got the both of them on.
Now let's tell our listeners what two young people, why they feel we need a new party, and what's it all about.
Alfie.
Alfie.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and me and my partner Layla feel that our Canadian politics needs more of an interdimensional policy when it comes to solving our problems. What we want is to look at our problems through conceptualization. And what that means is that we are going to take the concept of whatever issue is at hand and look at all of the different viewpoints in order to see what would best have a solution to the problem.
What do you think, Peter?
Okay. All right. And how does this differ from what's being done now?
Well, with the parties we have now, if you look at their voting history, you can know how they're going to vote on any issue, be it healthcare or education or Enbridge. But with our party, you have to really pay attention because we're looking at all facets of an issue. We're never going to just have one answer to anything. We're going to look at all of them and see which would be better for our country and our communities. So we're giving ourselves the option to be versatile.
So if I ask you a question about Canadian national unity, your response would be, the short answer is yes,
Correct.
but the long answer is no. Or the other way around.
Well, I would say that the short answer is yes, and the long answer is yes.
Okay.
Canadian national unity is a strong foundation on how we hold all of our communities together. And we believe that we are just trying to strengthen the institutions that are already there.
Okay.
Whew.
Okay.
Are you a political science major?
Yes, I am.
Gee, I wouldn't have.
Okay. And the other one's an anthropologist.
And you put them together, and oh my God.
Yeah, OMG.
Okay, so all right, what would you like to fix first? Come on.
And a follow-up question, how would you fix it?
Okay, come on, girls.
Okay, well, we have a top 3 focuses that our party platform is focusing on. One is youth involvement. And as of last spring, the Maple Spring in Montreal about tuition rates being increased have shown that we have a number of youth advocacies out there trying to reach to the government. Now, what we are trying to do is not promote that, but we want to be the mediators in between it. And because we look at different viewpoints, we want to include it as a valid viewpoint when putting it up against the government, and we want to be a mediator, if you will. So youth involvement in the community and having their voice be implemented could help give Canada fresh ideas about how to run the country.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. Can we get the youth out there to participate? Because I know, for instance, plenty of examples would be, we have things right here in Prince George that people moan and groan, but when it comes to an open meeting, where are they? They're not there. So how do we get the youth to get off the internet and go to these meetings and say, wait a minute, I've got an opinion?
Well, we believe that the youth would be more involved when they see our political party and how we are going to deal with their voices. I believe that they don't think that they're being listened to right now.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I think especially having us being youth ourselves will give us a really great platform to talk with them about it, because they'll see we're involved and they won't look at us like, oh, they're just saying that. They know that we've lived their experiences and we're talking from a genuine perspective.
Okay, so dealing with the issue of gun control, how does the new sort of system pick up that issue and turn it around and deal with it?
Well, as a part of our party platform, the first thing we do in every issue is we break apart the issue and see who has different viewpoints on it. So we can say that more of a conservative ideology would say that gun control is being promoted because they want to have a secure country and nation. Mm-hmm. Other viewpoints are saying that people should have a freedom to go in the streets and not have guns around for their children and safety. Mm-hmm. So that would be more of a liberalism point of view.
Mm-hmm. And other people would say, I like to hunt with my gun, so leave me alone and let me go hunting.
Correct.
Okay.
And human rights advocates would say, well, you don't have the right to kill that bear. Mm-hmm. And then National Forest Ministries would say, you're not allowed to kill that bear over there. And so it breaks down into a lot of different spectrums based on what context you put it in. But what we're talking about here is gun control. Do we want guns on our streets? Mm-hmm. And then, as a party, we would have to decide which voice is most important for the Canadian nation. Okay.
And how do you make that determination? Because, okay, you've got what you mentioned, 4 different and dissenting opinions. Mm-hmm. And how do you decide then whether it's option A, option B, option C, or option D?
Well, to give each option a fair chance, we would need to research every option, mm-hmm. and as well as be actively engaged with the Canadian public via our website, having people post their opinions, having polls, and see what the Canadian populace says compared to what the research says, compared to an ethical judgment on what is safe.
We'd also have to look, like you said, at the different populations. Like our response to gun control would be different in metropolitan versus rural versus hunting areas, because they have different needs for guns. And we don't want to just broad brushstroke everything. We want to take everything in context and try our best.
So the whole issue then of community consultation, which the other parties do now, they call for it's in committee, and they call for people who would be affected by any changes, blah blah blah, and they listen to them all. How would that differ from what goes on now?
The difference between our party and other parties who say that they have community involvement is that with people like the Conservatives or the Liberals, they listen to people and their judgments, but then they also have to take into consideration their party whip, which says you have to take the conservative way, you have to take the liberal way. Well, we have to take the conceptual way, and the conceptual way is to think about all facets and see what is best based on the foundation.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said you had 3 platforms, 3 areas. What are the other 2?
It's education, human rights, and youth involvement.
Okay.
Those are our top 3.
Okay, explain a little bit.
Education. As we all know, tuition rates have been increasing, and students have been getting more angry about their freedom being taken away. And this has been happening throughout the years.
Freedom to study.
The freedom to study, and also the freedom to have the type of studying they want to. We are limiting people's freedoms by making them pay higher tuition, because we're limiting the socioeconomic bracket who can actually reach higher education. So I would lobby for lower tuition rates based on the ethical foundation of getting people into university. I would also lobby for having a different streamline of education going into the lower levels, i.e. junior high and high school, getting lower level grade kids interested in things like philosophy, political science, and other sciences that are not available to them, like